what we've been told. And I think there's a lot of like for Shedeur. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. And I think, like, what's so important, and I'm as guilty of this as anybody, guys, but, like, we get so consumed this time of year, like, where's someone going to go? But, like, we got to remember it's the beginning of the story, not the end of it. I've comped him to Kirk Cousins. I think Shedeur is going to be a good player. I think he's very accurate. I wish he was going to run today because there's two other quarterbacks, Jackson Dart, who ran 4.85, and Tyler Shugg ran 4.63. They're closing their gap because when you're in the room and you're looking at a body work, one of the things you're looking at is competitiveness. And by not running, what are you hiding? One of the things you're going to also look for today, guys, is what kind of leadership does he have? What kind of intangibles? You want to be there today to see the things you can't see on tape.
You said you think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. You said accuracy and, of course, competitiveness. What else leads you to believe that he's going to translate at the next level?
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3, Michelle. He is tough. He's been sacked 94 times over the last 2 years. He's missed only one game. That is remarkable toughness. I mean, so much to the extent of you say, like, is that actually transferable to the NFL? Because they look more like Chris in the NFL. And, like, to me, you know, I think you could speed up someone's clock, but that would be a concern and also a strength at the same time. I think he sees the field well. I think, you know, like he led the nation in completion percentage. That speaks to his accuracy. Again, there's some things you want to clean up, but that's why you have coaches. Like, no one comes out as the perfect prospect.
Well, then there's the other guy that's going to be at the showcase, and that would be Travis Hunter. What do you make of him? What are people going to be looking for in his performance, and what does he project best at the next level? Yeah,
I think we're talking about a generational, what has a chance to be an all-time great. I don't think we talk about him enough. And in this generation, guys, of load management, practice less contact in the NBA, if you play 2 games in a row, you could be suspended, it seems like. Here's a guy that plays 114.7 plays per game. It's unbelievable. So, like, you want to know someone that cares deeply about a sport, that's well-conditioned, that has to be unbelievably intelligent, that is everything you want in a player. And you look at his ball skills on both sides, Chris, they're incredible. And to me, I would play him at corner. I think he has a chance to be the best corner in the NFL quickly. And then, you know, Chris, like, as you well know, like, there's so much time and effort that goes into meetings and preparation. I think, like, the most efficient way to do this would be to say, hey, you're a corner, go to all the meetings, and what we'll do is we'll add 15, 20 plays, third down, red zone, those really high consequential moments that will give you just like a handful of plays on the other side of the ball. But I don't think we could give him enough credit when we, again, just talk about conditioning and to be able to play at that level and so good. Like, what, I don't think we've ever really seen this before. We've seen, ironically, guys like Dion have the ability to go both ways, but to play both ways every play at the level that he's doing at is historically great.
So you mentioned how many plays he plays per game, 114 snaps a game. You're thinking at the next level somewhere between 80, 85 snaps a game. You would be comfortable with that? How concerned would you be when it comes to injury due to overuse with a player like that, just because we haven't seen it before?
Chris, no, that's a great point. And like day one, I'd be like, look, Travis, like, you got to be honest with us. Like, we want you to have a long and vibrant career. And this is year one. This is foundation. And again, like, just to level set for the audience, a lot of these guys come in, they're deconditioned because they're getting on planes, they're going on to interviews. Like, draft prep is not like prep. We heard Marvin Harrison talk about that a lot last year. He was trying to get ready for the season, not for the off season. So in year one, I would really like proceed with caution, make sure that, you know, we don't want any, you know, issues with soft tissues, and, you know, just getting through the rigors of a season is hard enough. And that's why I would add on those offensive plays sort of like strategically and judiciously.
We're talking to our ESPN front office insider, Mike Tannenbaum, here on Unsportsmanlike. And let's go back to Shedeur Sanders for a second, but in this context. So the Raiders are a team that has been connected to him a couple different ways as the draft process unfolds. But they reach a $75 million extension with their current quarterback, Geno Smith, yesterday. Do you think that precludes the Raiders from taking Shedeur Sanders if the opportunity presented itself to them?
Yes. I don't think you're giving up a third-round pick in that type of money to take a quarterback, you know, with the 6th pick. Now, ironically, yesterday on NFL Live, Adam Schefter reminded all of us, like, that's essentially what the Falcons did.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't think we're going to see that. You know, I think what Atlanta did, and maybe it works out with Michael Penix, you know, that was just a very rare situation. So I think the Raiders told us everything we needed, and I think it's going to be Ashton Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty, the running back from Boise State, had over 1,700 yards after contact. And I think Pete Carroll's saying that's my beast mode. And if we're going to beat Patrick Mahomes and Bo Nix and Justin Herbert, we got to be able to run the ball. We got a good quarterback in Geno Smith. Let's go get Genty.
Yeah, he looked unbelievable at his pro day, too.
Oh, he looked so good.
Talking with the ESPN front office insider Mike Tannenbaum on Unsportsmanlike. Staying with the quarterbacks, Mike T. The Cowboys made a move for a quarterback yesterday, trading a fifth-round pick for Joe Milton and a seventh-round pick for the New England Patriots. What did you make from the move, and what do you make of Joe Milton as a player?
Yeah, they basically moved back like 40 spots. I remember going to the Orange Bowl with my son, watching Joe Milton warm up. It took my breath away. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a stronger arm in person, period, end of story.
Wow.
I mean, if you just lined up everybody on the planet and said who has the strongest arm, he's in the conversation.
Yeah.
And he played great against the Bills in the one game he played. Now, the Bills, Josh Allen went out for the ceremonial first play. But, look, there's good tape on him, and there's a lot of upside. So I think it's a very low-risk, high-reward move. He started at Michigan, transferred to Tennessee. He's a very intriguing player. The tools he have is extremely rare.
Mike T, we're waiting for Aaron Rodgers to make a decision about his football future. All signs are pointing to a deal getting done in Pittsburgh, but we're not there yet. And so we can't assume that it's going to happen because it is Aaron Rodgers and there is some unpredictability there. If you were in the Steelers front office, how would you feel right now waiting for 8 to make a choice?
Yeah, it's interesting, Michelle, Mr. Rooney, who's very conservative in sort of like how he, conducts himself in the Steeler organization. For him to come out and say, we're going to get this done, that tells me everything we need to know. But, I thought what, Cam Hayward said a couple of weeks ago kind of spoke for the locker room. Let's go. You want to be here? Let's go. I still think it's remarkable that they traded a second-round pick and $30 million a year for DK Metcalf to have Mason Rudolph. Now, in my mock draft, and even with Aaron Rodgers, Michelle, if we had him, I'd still say if Shedeur Sanders is there at 10, go get him. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, go get him. Again, if he comes out and he's a good starting quarterback for the next decade, he's better to me than Kenny Pickett and all the other things that they've tried since Big Ben has left.
Mr. T, I can't let you get out of here before weighing in on the debate that's basically captured the attention of all of America. The tush push, the NFL tabled the vote on it until May's owners' meetings. They want to expand the language around the proposal to ban it, to include not being able to push and pull offensive players downfield. What do you make of that? Are you on board with it?
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask me about tariffs, so I'm glad we're on the tush push and not tariffs.
I don't want to talk about tariffs.
No.
Nobody wants to talk about tariffs.
Is Evan in a strike right now until the tariff situation? Is that what's going on? It's
I haven't heard. No word on that yet.
No word on that.
Yeah. So now, philosophically, here's where I am. I admire excellence. The Philadelphia Eagles have a play that's excellence, right? And I do find it somewhat hypocritical. Let's say that this rule change doesn't pass. For those coaches that are saying that it's a player health and safety issue, are they not going to run the play? I think that's not true. I don't think the data says that it's a health and safety issue. And philosophically, they're running a play at a very high level. The rules are the rules for all 32 teams. So,